You think you're protecting them, but really you're abandoning yourself.
The ego is a protector. It's running the show.
The masks multiply, characters built to survive.
Ego creates a character. Then it puts on all the whole full cloak.
Until the authentic self disappears under the costume and the body, it keeps the score.
The body becomes the storage container of what's never truly felt.
Because when you strip it all back, what's left is not success. Well, Cody, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Cody's writing a book called The Mind, the Disease of Worry, and going to be creating a publishing company called Unum Centum, publishing all the books that you're working on out, like a corporate oligarchy is in charge of all the things. I don't know if those are the words you would have chose.
I think that's perfect. I think you got it down.
And just a little highlight on like you, for those who don't know Cody, he's an entrepreneur, like been an entrepreneur for years.
Yeah.
And a husband.
I tried being something else and it doesn't seem to work.
A husband, a father of 7, an ultrarunner.
Yeah.
I actually knew that, but didn't really remember that till you put that and reminded me. And
I told myself I was when I put it down. Like, it's these moments where you're like, what do I say? What do you say about yourself? And that was a moment of like speaking it out as a truth. I am an ultra runner. And so like that instantly put in this, I had a race that I was kind of considering, and me putting it down, I'm like, it's no longer a consideration. I am the guy. I'm doing the thing.
love that.
It's wonderful.
You enjoy the outdoors.
Yes.
Longboarding, skateboarding, snowboarding.
Yeah.
Spending time with your kids. Sounds like we relate on a lot of things.
Yeah. We're very similar people.
Yeah. Well, just going back to the book, The Mind of Disease of Worry.
Yeah.
Tell me more around like the concepts and what stirred that and what brought that to life, like from the infancy stages.
Thank you. So this book is the 3rd written book. I actually have 2 previous books written before this one was written. And it's been this interesting process of how I've experienced this human experience, and how I've come from what I call a place of dissonance to a place of resonance, right? And you can call that whatever, like enlightenment, you want to call it awakening, you want to call it whatever that is. But for me, especially, it's this interesting concept. I'm an electrician, and so I see it very logically, but I believe from the heart mind is what I call it. The heart mind has the ability to understand in more depth concepts, ideas, and things that really can only be started from the heart and then followed through that process. So,
kind of like when things are black and white, it's hard to actually implement into reality because they're so boxed in. But when we come from the heart, there's space to not be in the box.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. And so this concept of writing the books, first I had a ghostwriter help me. It was wonderful. He did a great job. Wasn't quite the tone that I was looking for, but what that did produce was the next book, which was wonderful. I'm married to an amazing woman who I call her, she's from the natural order, is the way that I call it. It's a kind of an energetic way to look at it. That she's from her bottom 2 chakras. She very much lives in that, like, if it doesn't apply to here and now and today, then why the fuck does it matter?
I can resonate with that quite often in life.
Yeah. And it's fun to be married to that. Because the process has been writing this book, and I'd hand it to her and she's like, meh. And then I'd be like, all right, well, what about this book? And she's like, yeah, better. And then so like, it's been this wonderful purifying process of like asking that question internally of like, yeah, and so what? And so what?
Sounds like a gift, because if you're telling me you wrote a book, then you wrote a book, and now you're writing the first book that actually gives, sounds like she's a huge piece of you finding that.
Massive piece. And I think that this concept that like when it comes down to it, what I realized is that I I was even using worry to feel love in my life and to feel loved. It was a program that I had in place that was at the very bottom level. I was worrying about my wife's worry, essentially, like, is that's what this came down to. And so when I first was writing the book, I was always writing a book for her. And I realized at the end of this process of this first book, I was never writing the book for her. I was always writing the book for me, because I had at the very bottom a worry about her worry, which was causing so much like chaos. It created so much resistance, dissonance, all of those things, because I was outside of myself. Like there was a piece outside of me that I needed this piece to be content in order for me to be content. Mm-hmm. And so in this process of getting down to the so what and having her inspire me of like, so what, helped me to really come down to this concept that we sit between 2 points. It's actually a very simple process. We sit between worry and wonder. And those 2 points are, it's a 2 degrees is what I call it. Mm-hmm. In the center is nothing. It just is. Things as they are. I'm in presence. There's no emotional connection to whatever it is that's coming through. And then something happens, something unexpected, something unknown. And that usually triggers this worry, wonder concept. And so as it comes in, whoever is sitting in the seat of awareness has the ability to turn that thought from worry to wonder, or wonder to worry. Whatever it is, it's just a thing. It's just a thing coming in. And so if the ego, which I believe in the book, the way that I describe it, the ego is a protector, has always been a protector. That's the ego's role. The only time that the ego has a problem or a concern is when we put the ego not as I call it our town. We have a town, it's our town. The human being has 4 fields that we're working with: our soul, our energetic body, our physical body, and our mind body. Like those 4 fields make up our town. So in that, we have different positions. We have the police of chief, we have the mayor, and then we have the judge. And those are 3 key components to this community and working. So the police of chief, that's our ego. That's the one that's like making sure that we're safe, we're being safe, we're taken care of. The next one, our heart, is actually our judge. And so if our heart is feeling good, it can act as a great judge for us. And then there's this concept of the mayor, that the mayor is our soul. Our soul is the one that's there to direct it all, getting us all this traffic, and then the body ends up being the community, right? That's the whole of the us, is the body that gets to benefit from our town. And so this concept of when something comes in and you have the ego sitting as the police of chief, also as the judge, and then also as in the seat of awareness, you basically, it took over and it's now running what should only be a police of chief job and training and understanding. It's now in charge of the whole thing. It's running the show, which that activates this worry mind concept that if this ego is sitting there, it doesn't feel safe. And so a lot of people are like, yes, I understand this concept. This all makes sense and it's wonderful, but I couldn't ever figure out why was that happening? Like, well, I understand all of it. And I think everybody understands this concept that you have the choice to choose wonder and worry. So why am I choosing this worry concept? Mm-hmm. And I realized that the ego, in doing its job, and getting into a good relationship with my ego, I realized that if there's any one part of those 4 fields that we were talking about that are out of dissonance, then the it's really nervous. And so it jumps in as a protector, which starts using the mind as a labeling concept, as a safety, protecting barrier.
And that's even the actions that you witness when you're in that.
Yeah, when you're
jumping in and fixing and making sure everyone's okay. And
yeah, the police chief just jumped in and was like, whoa, what's going on? But usually this is the part that's tricky for a lot of people. There's 3 different places that can happen. It can happen in our mental field, which is I'm looping constantly thinking about things and I'm creating fear. essentially. And I'm creating fear that I'm feeling it because I keep circling and looping in it. Let's say an experience that I thought that I could have done better that I didn't. And I do that over and over and over and over. That starts building this fear inside of me. And so the mind can do that. The mind starts spinning and the ego's like, whoa, let me take over. And so that can happen. It can also happen in our energetic field, which I would say most people don't even recognize the truth that they have an energetic field. They know they have emotions, but they don't know exactly where they come from, why they're there, and what they're doing, and what they're all about. And so educating humans about this energetic field, this emotional body that exists, is such an important process, because if they don't know that it exists, they don't know if it's full, they don't know if it's open, they don't know if it's grounded. They don't know anything about this, and they're carrying around this body that doesn't exist, but definitely does exist. We all know when I walk into a room, and you do too, and there's an asshole, we can feel him. You can always feel him. Like it's always this energetic pattern that's there.
I bet lots of times they don't feel themselves.
Yes, because they're outside of themselves.
So as you're saying this and you're talking about how these concepts and everyone's like, I get that, but like, what do we do?
Yeah.
My head was thinking, it's like the awareness, and you take the awareness and then you get to know those aspects.
Yes.
And then there's not so much like they're on the other side of the globe and there's zero communication.
Beyond me. Yeah.
Because I think of this time I was taking this course and it was around eating, and I got something completely different than eating out of it. But in a moment, we closed our eyes, did a meditation, and we hung out with our inner critic, which is probably like a lot of the ego.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in my house, and I got these like these wooden stairs, and I could see me, the critic, up at the stairs, the top of the stairs, and I saw me in this version where I'm enraged. Like my kids aren't listening. Maybe they even just hit each other.
Sure.
And I'm like doing whatever I can to just stop the violence.
Sure.
And so I join in this to let them know that I mean
bigger,
business.
that you're bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually
Listen
that's
up.
what it was, is I'm bigger. If we're going to play this game, I'll be a bigger monkey.
So the thing that hit so hard in this moment is she told me to name him. And so I'm like, well, I'm King Jared. So what's your name? I was like, King Herod. Yeah, you would definitely go and find all the babies and to find that baby Jesus. And I was like, hey man,
Yes.
you are powerful and you stay powerful. I love you.
I love this.
And we're doing things different. Follow my lead and I'll work with you,
Yes.
not against you. And it's been a learning experience since then. But like that was like a year ago. And it's funny how we're always building upon our learnings.
Yes.
But
Yeah. I think that there's this last concept, is that the ego, once the ego takes over the concept of being the police chief, the judge, and the mayor, because it doesn't feel like they're doing their job, it starts creating characters. It's exhausted. And so it puts characters in place. And that's what you're talking about. King Herod, that actually is one of the characters that you've created, because fully authentic self wasn't able to step into that position. And so ego also can't fill the position. So as a help to self, it creates a character. First as a mask, and then it puts on all the whole full cloak, the cape, everything, all of it, puts it all together. And then it lives in place of our authentic self until I feel comfortable enough to challenge the character and then take its place. And at that point, I'm in charge of that position instead of the character being in charge. This kind of autopilot person or thing that I've created in my life is running the program most of the time.
to keep us safe.
Yes, to keep us safe. Yeah.
So I saw that the worry versus wonder, there's two lenses, but it's the same doorway.
Yes.
Tell me more around that.
Yeah. So getting back to this, like if we feel out of dissonance, why is the ego take over? The second I can move be aware, like understand and be aware that I just jumped, my ego just jumped in place. I then start checking instead of, I say why. I start looking into the why did I just do that, and where am I feeling unsafe in that? And there's some interesting times when like the unsafety was actually that I didn't feed myself this morning.
So true.
And my body, like at the moment, it's like, hold on, I'm taking charge of this thing. We're going to freak out until we get this figured out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so
I do know what you mean.
I love it.
Well, my next question, and I want to come right back, but I was going to say, if you could choose one word, what would the word be that would like spark this? And you said it in several words. And what I heard is curiosity.
Yes. Wonder.
Yes. Curiosity. Like, what's going on? Yeah. Oh, I'm hungry.
Yes. Yeah.
Instead of like,
instead of giving into it, the dragon that shows up as a protector of the character, you actually just, you listen to it and say, oh, what do you have to say? And like, you're listening to King Herod at the top of it, and you're like, hold on, is there valid anything that you have that you want to, because there's probably something valid to that character. Like there could be, like maybe you've told the kids 5 times and they're not listening to you, and that's really important that your kids actually, that they do what they say they're going to do when they're going to do it. And so there may be something in it that King Herod isn't feeling heard. So if you can hear King Herod, then King Herod can actually teach you. Instead of allowing self to take over.
So it's not a go away, I don't want you.
Yeah.
It's like, let's work together.
Yeah. What's the issue? What's the problem? Because they usually have a valid concern. Like that character usually has a valid concern that needs to be addressed that I'm not willing to do. And like, no, we'll stuff it. And you're like, no.
So as you were telling me about the town, I use such a similar analogy to talk to my patients. Okay. And so I'm like, because I went through Lyme disease and I could not figure out what was wrong with me, and I was like, I'm gonna die, and my brain wasn't working. I get lost driving around. Like wrote a biography to my kids.
Really?
I mean, I didn't get all the way through because I was just like so tired.
But started the process of it.
Yeah, I was like, I want you to know me, and I don't know if I'm gonna be around.
I didn't know this about you. That's cool.
And I tell my patients, so when there's dis-ease in your body, the dis-ease of worry.
Yes, sir.
When there's dis-ease, you have this colony of cells, and there's tons of roles. There's the trash department. There's the police department. There's the fire department. There's the governor. There's everything, all the store owners, commerce, truckers, everything, semi-truck drivers, airplane, like in this ecosystem.
I love this.
And when you're in dis-ease, everyone's working for the fire department and they're all putting out fires and they've quit their jobs.
Yep.
And so you're like, I don't know why this weight won't go away. I don't know why I can't think. I don't know why I got brain fog. It's like, well, everybody's
putting out the fire. Yeah.
And so the funny thing I'm thinking is like the correlation is like so correlated.
Yes.
And they all go together.
Yes.
The cells are jacked when we're not in the other aspects of us. Like if we deny spirit, we deny all these aspects, the body can't be homeostasis. Like there's no way.
Yes.
It's not just like just the body can work and nothing else can work.
Right.
We are all the parts of us.
We are all the parts of us. Yes, we are all the parts. I love the way that you said all of that. And I believe like the way that you described, like we have a police department, we have a waste department, like all of them need to be taken care of for the town to be happy. Right. And if we can keep a happy town, then we're living without, this energetic field that we were talking about earlier that's there. Like when we're passing each other, we can feel each other. We're about 3 feet wider than where we physically are. So we're passing each other constantly. We're touching fields constantly. Information's transferring constantly. And so once you realize that and you start understanding this energetic field, you stop putting the worry into it and you start wondering. And so that's this big shift that I like literally, if something pops in and I can't get to any point of resolution at the very end, I can get to one spot. I wonder how this is going to work out. If I don't know anything else, if I can get me there, because then I have faith and trust that it's all fine and everything's good. I don't know how it's going to end up, But if I wonder at that point, so that's the instant shift that now I'm no longer seeing the problem. I'm searching for solutions.
Without worry. With
Worry.
creativity and curiosity.
Yes.
Because I seek for solutions and worry sometimes.
Yeah.
And there's a difference.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm in it and I'll stay longer or shorter. But I think you might agree with this. I think a part of this dance and learning is not to be upset when you find yourself in it.
Yes.
And to just acknowledge.
Know that you're in the worry and then find out why, and then use the why to actually get you back into wonder. Yeah. The way that I see it is like we're living life. And the lane bumpers on the outsides, if I can use that for worry, that's my worry. And if I'm not sitting in worry, if I'm not producing worry, if I'm not all of this thing in worry, then I can sit living life when I'm coasting through life and something comes up and worry comes. It's just a signal. It's just telling you something. Look at me. You're at the end of the sheet music. Look at me. You're at the end of the sheet music. Something's out of place. There's not dissonance. You're sitting here and you should be back in here. And once we get into here, then it's wonderful.
This is how we are, all of us. Yeah. Like, worry don't go away.
Yeah.
Tell me everything.
Yeah.
We're just dancing different now. We're changing the track, and we're not going back to that other track. Like, you can throw some pieces in the music, we'll hear it, and then we're back to whatever, 432 hertz.
Whatever the frequency is. Yeah. Yeah. Just using it as a signal instead of condemning self for not knowing differently or should have. Like, when you shoot on yourself, dude, it is the worst possible thing that you can do. And then don't shoot on others either, dude. Like, the whole concept of shitting on people is like...
And it totally starts like that. It's you.
Yeah.
And then you start throwing it all over the place. Oh, and when you do it to your kids, it's the worst.
Yes. And it's like the worst kind of worry.
Dude.
Is to should people. Yeah. It's putting my worry on you. You should have done it the way that I assumed it to have been done.
Well, no wonder before we started recording and we were talking about the shifts in your electrical business and how that's changed a lot from what it used to be.
Yeah.
That goes a lot into hand with this. Because from that hierarchy business model, it feels like there's a lot of pushing of worry down. Like, do your role.
Yeah.
Take care of your people, as opposed to like, let's all be curious and stay just in our little piece.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So for our listeners, I got this from something you sent me earlier, but worry disguises itself as productivity, planning, perfectionism. And those ring really true to me as I've been working on like my own version of concepts that you're putting in your book.
Yeah.
'Cause I've like cleaned up a lot and then like start going and then like get lost in that, trying to like build this thing. It's like, oh, it did it again in a different version.
Yeah. You're still using worry as the motivating energy factor behind the thing.
But what I found is that worry energy, like for the cup, there's like almost nothing in that.
Yeah.
In fact, it's like extracting where I need to be pouring and it's like emptying the empty cup. Right. So like it gets to this halting point where it's like everything's over or we must change how we're looking at things.
Right.
How did we even get here? And I think a lot of entrepreneurs could probably, who've had that, like you build and you get to this point and it's like, oh, that way of being, we can't go any further.
Yeah. You get to a point where that will only produce so much because it's like you just see energy exchange. I'm going to be using way too much energy because what happens with the worry mind, if I'm using worry, then worry is going to check. It's going to go and it's going to figure out all of this before it can actually move forward. So it's this massively huge energy source that it uses this and checks it all. And it's like, all right, let's go to the next level. That's the route. When you use your heart to make that same decision, I don't need to know all of this. The heart is wondering. So then if I'm now here, I can wonder if this is it. And if I don't, I step forward and it didn't feel good. So I bring it back and then I can go from there. And so instead of checking it all out and needing to make the right choice the first time, which is what worry does often, wondering says, I can figure it out. And if I just take steps in that progress, I will even probably figure out a different end result that I want in the process.
But it's not like blind, not paying attention to anything. No. It's just a curious way to find where we're going.
Yeah.
Because if we're in dissonance or distortion, I like that one too.
Yeah, distortion.
And we're trying to see where everything might blow up. It takes forever to make decisions. And from a lot of the leaders that I watch, if you're building something great, no one's going to keep working for you if you take a long time to make decisions, because that's 10x on their life.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got to go.
Absolutely.
But we got to go with heart. Yeah. And then the heart, the more I've allowed myself to do that, I know that I already know. And it will tell me. And then it will tell me if I need to just do that 1 degree.
Right.
But if I'm scared, I can't hear my heart.
Right.
It
needs a starting
lost.
Point. Right.
Yes.
It needs a starting point. The heart is never more than 2 degrees off. Like, that's the thing. And if you can go with the heart, just know it might be 2 degrees off, but that's okay. It's only ever 2 degrees off because you can manage that 2 degrees. But the heart is in the process of feeling it and figuring it out. And when it knows and you start trusting it, it's almost like the relationship that you start building with this whole other entity, which is the heart is the energetic mind of the emotional body. And so if you're starting to listen to that, you're actually starting to come into that final field that most people don't trust, they don't see, it's not even there, it doesn't even exist. It now is one of the biggest parts of me. And it's one of the things that is my judge, and it'll sit in a great spot because it's not going to come to rash decisions. I've matured it to a level, like it's this idea that we believe that as judges, like we want to be a judge, but to start creating a law, which is kind of running from my heart. If I'm going to live from my heart, that means I'm living from law, essentially. How long does it take for a judge to get to the Supreme Court where it's starting to make law? And how much time and process does that take to get from a maturity level to there? That's essentially what we're trying to do. We're trying to be a Supreme Court judge, living from our heart, making full decisions and being confident in those for everybody around us. And that's difficult. That's living authentic. That's living from the heart, is how I see it.
Yeah. My flavor to add to that, and maybe you don't agree, I think we are supreme judges day one. And the dissonance and the environment we dive into, and that baby body of forgetfulness to have the experience we get to have here to just do it again and do it again till whatever we believe, maybe you stop doing it again or whatever.
Sure.
It's like a remembering and an allowing.
Yeah.
And then cause for me, the heart really is not usually based on facts. It's me being willing to play with it and not
for sure
use all my facts to be analytically right.
Right.
Especially like in relationships and like with the loved ones where like things are really rubbing.
Sure.
And this is a beautiful way to look at it. I love how you've laid this out.
Dude, I love you, man. My one thought that I had on what you were talking about, I had this concept of Adam and Eve and this idea or the first man, first woman concept, right? And I believe what happened, this is my story that I see through that told over and over and over in so many different areas. Essentially, human beings were here on this earth and had progressed to a level in which they couldn't get any further. And what the piece that they were missing was judgment. That's the one piece they didn't actually have yet, which is the tree of knowledge of good and evil in Christianity that's expressed differently in these different modalities. But we wanted something more. And the only way to do that was to learn how to be a judge. Up to that point, I don't believe like humans couldn't progress because it was outside of them to judge for themselves, and they could trust in that. And so I believe this human experience, if you go back to all of it from the very beginning, it's us learning how to be a good judge for ourselves and the process of that. We've got everything else. Everything's in us. It's all built into us. If we can figure out this judge concept, this activation of this ego versus worry mind, if we can let the heart be in charge instead of the ego be in charge of this judgment concept, then we can live our lives from this beautiful place of knowing. And every time I have a thought, my thought comes in, my mind doesn't need to check it. It feels really good about it because my soul came up with it. And my heart is behind it. It feels good as it comes through. All of those things hit. My physical field can actually do the thing that I'm thinking.
That's a big deal right there.
You're now
entrepreneurship
living in creation as I am.
How many times have you had a list of like these 4 core things, and as soon as they're done, we can move on to the next thing. And I can't get them done for weeks or months,
right?
Because of what I believe, what you just said.
Yeah.
It was like dissonance, blockage. For me, I call it, I need more information. I can't move forward.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know what to do. And until I have whatever that is, or I need to listen. And my heart, what I found recently, I didn't have enough information. It was, you're working on the wrong shit. So we're stopping you.
You're pointing in the wrong direction.
We're not going to let you move forward.
I've had those too, to where I'm like, I'm not 2 degrees off. I'm everywhere off because I can't find it until you finally can find even the pointed direction that you're like, yeah, I told you that a year ago or 2 years. And that's what this, like, honestly, writing books, it's been this process of having that. I keep going like, well, what's the next thing? And it's like, write the book, write the book, write the book.
So you talk about the Adam and Eve thing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, and whatever, we all believe a lot of different things. I believe I don't know. And I think there's some ideas that resonate.
Yeah.
So I think we might have living a lot of lives and just here until I got what I want. Because I think there's probably something more fun and enjoyable in a elevated level. Yeah. But I don't want to do any of that until I got what I got here. Otherwise, like, what am I going to do there? Right. And I think about how you're that judging and learning that. And then I look over, let's say 2,000 years or 4,000 years. There's definitely been consciousness aspects where there's been huge up levels, or like an amazing person who was like a leader and a king and was like a good person. Yeah. And then as a whole consciousness, though, we're like finding that like to where we got it, and
we're all becoming good judges.
Exactly. Right? Well, look, and we were just talking about chat,
all of those things,
like all these things. We are in this era where we have everything, like living in America, and the tools we have, we're at a pivotal moment where it's never been like this. And everything is there for us to completely have full access out of us, within us. Yeah. And it's just acceptance.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah. In that, and maybe we can wrap it up on, and I don't mean to wrap it up for you, but the concept of this unum centum, it was one of the last things that I wanted to talk about. Unum centum, it's 1 and 100 in Latin. It's the motto in which my family, we live by. We have a ne obliscaris, which is lest we forget in Latin for the Campbell name. And we were on a vacation with my kids, the oldest 2, and we said, well, what's our family motto? And we came up with unum centum. And the whole concept of unum centum is this: I am as are you. And if we can start living from that place, which is a really cool place, I am as are you. I give you the permission to be I am, and I know that I am. And that's that. Everybody's growing. A few people in history have kind of found that. And I believe that we're getting to this point where we're seeing the I am of self, and how that's not a perfect perfect being. It's just a perfect in progress. So yeah, it's absolutely perfect, always progressing, as we all are progressing, but shifting the concept of I am to that. Testing, feeling, expanding by just.
But I am is required first.
Yeah. It's essential.
And you've heard this one too, but I am that I am. And then we are that we are. Because I remember my earlier healing days, like right after my divorce, I was talking to this lady I see named Becky, and she's amazing. And she's like, I'm like, this stuff's so good. I want to share it with the world. And she's like, whoa. Let's just do you. And I'm like, why? And she's like, well, do whatever you want. But like, and now I understand. It was like, and it still is like, I am and we are. But if I don't understand that I am, that's a really shitty we are. It's not even true. It's another mask of trying to do the right thing, as opposed to, no, we're just doing full, authentic from heart. We're not trying to prove anything.
Right.
It just is.
Yes.
That's what I heard from I am. And say it again.
It's a beautiful way to say it. I am as are you.
I've never heard someone say that except for you, and I really like it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a sum up of how to explain this concept and ideal of unum centum is, if I can lift 100 people that are around me, like the 100 in my tribe, because I don't believe in like I had in the very beginning that I wanted to help the world, and I shifted that. I don't want to help the world. I want to help my world, and I can only do that. Like, and my focus can stay there. And my world, that's about 100 people. Like, I can kind of feel that in my space. And so if I can be who I am, and if I can allow others to feel that authenticity and give them the permission to also live in that authenticity, it's this interesting MLM concept that if those 100 people, you help 100 people, and in 5 cycles, that covers the earth.
Yeah.
It is not a hard process, and it isn't that difficult, and it's a lot smaller when I put it into my world. I can do my world. I don't need to worry about the big world. That will take care of itself in the process of taking care of my world.
Yeah. Well, by being I am, the we will get the same.
Yeah.
I mean, you were talking earlier about, I think it was before we started, but how you've shifted the business from the hierarchy, and now instead of a pyramid, it's a circle.
Yeah.
And entrepreneurship has a really fun way of creating even probably a more than 100 on accident.
Sure.
And
automatically.
Yeah. And but I agree.
Some will be 1, some will be 10. Like when it says in the scriptures, like how great is their joy if you save one soul. And I think it's the same concept.
I agree.
Nobody can save anybody else. The only way to save another soul, I believe, even for Christ, was to show them I am, and that they can as well.
We can't be saved.
Yeah. It's the process of saving is in us.
We desire to find and refuse to be saved.
Yeah.
Except just like accept. And the saving is just from the understanding that saved from what?
Yeah, I'm not broken. How could I be saved from anything?
That's what I was. I love that you said that. So when I was talking about the past lives, I recently have been working on this one piece where like it feels like there was an era where I don't know if it was like slave ship or like just like serfdom, and like my highest self was to make sure that everyone was okay. And in this reality, it was true.
Yeah.
But that is not now.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that I can't love like that. But I don't ever want to show up like that. In fact, it's disgusting. Like to take someone's opportunity to find.
Yeah.
In fact, I just want to shine brighter and be like, thank you. Thanks for noticing. You're crushing it too. Like, that's it.
I am as are you. Absolutely, dude. That is the mentality of it all. And if we can live that way, like the potentiality of humans, every human soul has the same capability. Like that we are all special. We're all unique. We're all, and if we stop worrying about those that are, and start wondering about how I can be as well. Like it's that big shift. Like everything is just this tiny little piece of like, it's like like a judge in the worry mind, the ego, when it's coming up, all the ego does is it makes a ruling of establishment of a law it's a shitty judge because it didn't come up with any recompense afterwards. It didn't care about it. It was so, you are guilty and it's that. Well, hold on. The whole point of this was for recompense. Something was done and I'm looking for recompense. And so the heart will actually, in the whole part of the process, it'll have the evaluation of the after already put together because it's figuring, it's worried, but it's wondering at the same time as the worry. Yes, I'm worried about getting this right, but I wonder what I need to do if I do get it right, how to make this whole or how to make this situation accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. The way you've structured this. So this is book 3 or this is book 1?
This is book 1. Yeah. Of 3. Yeah. And this will have 2 versions. I'm really excited about this one. There's going to be this very logical mind person that's going to want to read it without my experience. And I get that. That's me. I'm writing it for me first. And then I'm writing it then for others that I know that would be wanting to hear how I've come to some of this and my journey. And it'll be called The Mind Ease of Wonder. And it's not going to be much different other than putting my story in it. I'll have my path as a part of the process of like, this is how I've seen it and how I've come to understand things as they are. But it's a very practical approach to the whole thing because the first 2 books, the second one is kind of very spiritual and it's very difficult to get through. And I actually was like, okay, well, how do I condense all of that to reality, to right here and now? Because spiritual can be reality here and now.
It's cool to hear you say that and then talk about these concepts. And it's very apparent looking at that. This beautiful understanding I want to share and like write some more about it. And it's like, well, wait, this is what it needs to be. And it's literally like a model of the I am and you are. As opposed to like, I am and see me, like, I don't know, like this other weird thing, like, and just like a surrender and a observing and a curiousness to how to have it be consumed. Cause when I think of back in the day, I would agree, like it's too deep. It's hard for it to actually be tangible. But like the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. The book is very basic, but it hit me so hard 10 years ago in another version of myself. And it was like, I needed that back then to just be like, I just need a concept of like, bro, just chill the fuck out. And like, whoa, my gosh. And like, that was as deep as I needed to have it hit. Cause I think if it was all this, I'd have been like, these guys are crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that this is the goal of the book on this one is to like shoot over the top of the ego and the mind and the energetic body to just have it look at what is. And if it resonates, great. And if it doesn't, that's okay. Like it's not for you. But I feel like this concept, the way that it's explained, it's kind of teaching spirituality in the why does it matter here and now. So
the dis-ease, the disease connection from our 4 human fields, the physical, emotional, mental, soul. What, like you, I believe the same, but we can manifest illness, disease from living in that reality of like looping. I have personal experience. You do too, right? I'd love to hear like one that like the thing that really maybe you didn't know when you were in it, but you sure do now.
Sure. I would say that like my physical form changed when I stopped worrying. Like once I kept talking to people, they're like, what are you doing? How are you losing this weight? How are you getting fit? I don't work out. And at any point I can go run 10 to 20 miles. My body's sitting ready and formed to do whatever it is that I'm looking to have it do at any point. And so it's this interesting, fun state to be in. And the only thing that I can contribute this to is I've stopped worrying about guilt and shame. And when I stopped doing that, I stopped trapping that in my energetic field. And then my body, because the mind, when it's producing all of this fear, it has to go somewhere. The energy body takes it. And if the energy body can't deal with it, it then puts it into the physical body. So the physical body's taking the overload of the energetic body that's not letting, the mind won't process it because it's stuck. And so it keeps bouncing back, essentially trying to get processed. And then finally the body's like, well, let's just put it in my gut. Like I can store it there, and then it just starts growing and getting bigger and bigger. And so the body becomes the storage container of what's never truly felt.
Yep.
In our human experience, because I'm so afraid to, because I'm sitting with this, I'm not in safety. But if I can know that I'm safe and that I'm always safe and I'm using wonder, all of that changes. And then I can start losing weight, and I stop putting pressure on my joints that I was putting pressure before. And that your body just heals. I had a longboarding wreck and a dirt biking wreck that should have wrecked me within the last month. I was good. My body, the longboarding wreck, I hit hard and rolled, and I just was in this really cool spot of presence, and I popped up. But my body healed like that.
So true, man. I don't
like that.
Younger years, I had so many big injuries, and it was absolutely connected to the dissonance within me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of like trying to find where I was going, and so I just kept having these experiences of like gnarly injuries that would manifest in life. And then I got really sick, and I can relate a lot now too. It's like when you don't worry, well, you kind of crash that way too. Doesn't mean you don't care about your crash. You're still gonna be curiously falling
you wonder about it. It means you wonder about it. Like just shift that literally 1 degree over. Know how. But when I got done with that fall, I had a guy, it was one of my neighbors, and he's like, what the hell are you doing longboarding at your age? And I looked at him in the eye and I said, I am more confident now about my longboarding than I was before my wreck. I said, it has nothing to do with age. I said, I'm now a better longboarder having done the whole thing. I will do a harder, badder hill because I actually know I can make it after that experience. And he was just kind of like, oh yeah, it's not a common way to live where you really can put your body to the extreme, because you have the ability to manage in presence, in real time. And even in those, like when you get out of trouble, I know how to take a fall. I've learned how to take a fall, so I can I'm okay.
Now, recently I did have an agreement and a conversation with my body. And I was like, hey, like, we're not going to stop snowboarding. We're not going to stop doing any of these things. But I actually have realized that I have different needs now.
Yeah, their desires.
And my desire is not to see me. Did you see me do the best trick? Did you see me? Or even if you didn't see me, I saw me. Yeah, I did it. Now, I still like the fun and wonder, but I believe I'm attracted to the true wonder, which is like the creative artfulness of it and the joy. The joy that but not the proving. Yeah. And so I tell my body, I don't want to stop this joy, and I'm not going to. But I actually can see the line more clear now. And thank you so much for being a ninja. Thank you for being awesome. Yeah. But I'd like to work deeper into this with you.
I'll honor you.
And keep you forever.
I'll honor you by having that ability to do it. Because like I said, almost like I said that wrong. It's not a bigger, badder heel. That's not what I'm looking for. That was the ego speaking in that moment of the bigger, badder heel, because that's not it. It's a funner heel. Like I can do I can enjoy myself even more because I have more confidence in my skills to do something grander.
Yeah. That's exactly what.
It's a better rewrite.
Well, pivot to like personal awakening moment and like tying faith and just like wonder and together. How has that transformation in your life around those concepts changed the way you look at leadership and philosophy of being a leader and like of your company or of yourself, of our families? I know myself, I'm not sure exactly where you are, but I'm very different than I was 10 years ago. I live in a different world. I was in a massive box and I was scraping out of it. But like, I think you have a very similar story of your own.
Definitely.
Has that transition and the way you see the world affected the way you see authentic leadership?
Yeah, I would say I've always had this kind of concept, and I've always been in leadership, and that's kind of always been the thing. And a big part of this model was I felt like emotionally, I can hold space for a lot. I can kind of hold, and I didn't even know what that meant before, but like I can see what needs to be felt in a space, and I can actually produce into the space the energy needed for that space to feel comfortable, essentially. And so that often was, I took on this emotional responsibility of making sure, it almost became a safety thing to be like, if I can make sure that this individual is safe, then I feel safe in the space. Does that make sense? So it changed.
Actually, for sure, you don't wear that at all. I don't see that at all.
Thank you. And it was a big part of my life as a shift in this whole process of having that, feeling that, and getting moving through that, and seeing that it isn't me and it's not a part of me, and it's just something that I'm feeling. But until you recognize that it even exists, I can feel you. If you don't get to that concept of I can actually feel another human being, you're going to be, you're cutting out a quarter of your life and not understanding the main brain, which is the heart of knowingness. You will never you don't even have a judge. The ego is doing both parts. It's the judge and it's the police of chief.
And it's still happening. You're just disacknowledging it.
Yeah.
So it's still entangling and touching.
Yeah.
But like, what does that feel like?
Because the heart knows, and you're constantly telling it, shut up, shut up. I know, you don't know. I know, I'm in charge. I'm the one that's safe here. Yeah, definitely.
I remember the first time we met. It was at a really cool event, like a healing event. And we were both in our own fun places. I remember I was really into being a dad back then. Yeah. And I believe you were kind of in a very similar spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we were talking about like, am I doing enough? Like, am I trying hard enough? And I think the thing we kind of came to was like, well, this is what I want to do. Yeah. And it's just like that perfectionism and like that being enough. And I would relate to, I can hold a lot. Yeah. And that knowing is attached to that old experience. But I'm so grateful for it because it also expanded the hell out of me. Yes. Because it's true. Yeah. It's just, I don't need these things pushing out to keep the expansion. It's just here now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But I'll never forget that moment that we met because it was like, it was heart.
Yeah. And it's unique to find, I found this with a lot of women, but I haven't, when you show up open-hearted and you feel the other person doing the same, again, energy feels energy. We're always feeling each other. So if you're closed, I can feel that. And if you're open, I can feel that. I also am either open or closed as well. And so there's this interesting thing that shows up when two men show up with open heart. It's almost like my heart leapt for joy because it was almost like, I see I'm not the only one. I see that there are other people that are willing to live open, fully authentic, because you at times you've got daggers coming in. People like, how dare you live authentically? Who do you think you are? And it's their characters. It's not them. Their characters are put in place to keep the authentic self at bay, even yours. So they're going to keep their own authentic self as well as keep your authentic self at bay, because who gets to live in this life without characters? That's how most of the people are walking around, sitting in that energy. And so you can offend people by just being in open heart.
And the more you experience that and are in wonder, it's fun.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't need to be a bad thing.
You start playing with it.
You can like, just like I'll hold space.
Yeah.
And we're probably not going to hang out again.
Yeah. And
I mean, all the different scenarios.
Sure.
It's more like there's nothing to do. Yeah. Or maybe before how can I help you? And I would love to help you.
Yeah.
But I also don't need to.
Yeah.
Which is, that help is received so differently. Trying to be help is like, get away from me. But if it's like, I don't know, whatever, man. Like,
well, it's kind of like whatever the heart has matured to is how I see it. If the heart has matured enough to have boundaries and have thoughts, then it'll actually naturally be safe enough to like move through through this human experience open. And so we're just maturing our judge. We're just getting it to a great spot to where it feels really good about its judgings. We're not judging it for its rulings. We're learning from its rulings. And if we see it you kind of messed that one up, and that's okay. No problem. Now we know better, and we're going to work on that on the next one, right? We learn from it over and over and over. And it's this good judge concept. If we can get there, I believe that this is kind of what, like, if you go back to the very beginning, we're talking about Adam and Eve, and they're like, hey, we're here. And God's like, hey, this is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The concept of you are going to have to learn and decipher for yourself what is beneficial for you and what takes away from you. And that's it. There's this process. There is the good and evil concept it's just to self. It's not for whole. It's not for everybody. It's for each individual to learn to be a good judge for self. And then at some point, that then benefits other people because you're just a good judge. You've matured in a level in which you can look at all the angles, you understand, and you can make quick decisions really fast. And I don't need a 4-month trial. We can get this done in 4 minutes. Let's cut through it.
Yeah, just cut the baby in half.
King Herod.
King Solomon.
Yeah, but King Herod would be the one that would actually do the thing. King Herod was at the top of the stairs saying, yeah, let's cut the baby in half.
But isn't that good?
Yes.
Because to be honest, naming him, I'm like, all right, dude.
Yeah,
in fact, I see you in that rage.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah. I've been a part of getting you there.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'd be mad too.
Yeah.
Thanks for yelling and making me notice. Like that's that curiosity. Yeah. I'm so pumped for this book to come out, man.
I'm very excited. I'm really close. I've got the end of the month. I was planning on having kind of the first full revision of all the chapters. And I'm going to keep it very simple. It's not a long book. It's a simple 60-page. I'm not going to make it very long. It's going to be very specific. I don't want to get lost in the whole thing. So
I like that.
The next ones are longer, and I've got that. But I've really learned that through this process is if this one hits, it hits. And if it doesn't, that's okay.
But it's the next one. It's not really about, it's just about like the gift.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And it sounds very authentic.
Yeah, it is definitely from the heart and has been learned from the process of doing, being, understanding. Yeah.
Well, lots of times I talk about a lot of different business concepts when I have people on. Yeah. And I believe these concepts are business concepts. Business is a model of what's going on inside of us. And when my business is flourishing, it doesn't mean everything's good, but like when there's things going on, lots of times it's attached to what's going on with inside of me. Yeah. And it doesn't even mean it's bad, not good or bad. It's like, what is here for me?
Yeah.
And what's on the other side? Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah. You mean there's something to solve and then I'm oh, let's go look at that. And so
that's beautiful.
What have you found through your 27 or 22 years? How long have you been doing the electrical company?
Yeah, it's been, this one that we started is 13 years, but I've been doing it since I was 21. So I've been in the industry for like 25 plus years.
Yeah.
Right. You brought up something already that you had said that we've implemented in our company that I believe is a massive thing. You talked about agreements. We no longer have rules in our company. We have agreements, which is a wonderful thing. We have down our guy, electrician comes in and they look at the thing and we sit down and we're like, these are the agreements. And if you do this and the other guys do this, then everybody's going to do really well at their job. You come in and we do the same thing as an estimator. These are the agreements that I'm willing to do. I'm going to put scope of work. I'm going to make sure that I put a detailed material list on the thing. Everybody lives by these agreements, and when they do, it's wonderful. And when they don't, I give you a little bit of grace. It wasn't a rule or a commandment. I'm going to give you some grace in that, and know that you did agree to it. And so I'm going to assume that you're moving on it and working through it and having grace in it. So agreements is one of the biggest things that we've shifted. A part of that pyramid hierarchy we have a culture and we have agreements, and those things are powerful. Yeah.
So it's very similar to the process that you all need to do, but instead it's like, what we found from just working through these processes is this would be the best agreements for us to all make with each other to go.
Right.
So there's like mutual agreements and not...
And visibility.
Right? So everyone knows.
That everybody knows that everybody's agreeing to this thing, and they don't have to be the keeper of the other.
Now we have expectations are set. And we're not
grace is there. I'm not your keeper. I don't need to hold you to that. And I can assume that if that didn't happen, that there was a reason for it, and I can have grace in wondering what that might be.
I love your words, Joyce. Well, this is my favorite stuff to talk about. Thank you, man. Well, I want to wrap this up with just entrepreneurs and what it takes to live from your heart, build from your heart, and lead with wonder and be a father. So like, cause there's so much in that, and they can pull from each other. Like the family can be taken from the business.
Yeah, for sure.
And I would love to hear how you got to where you are now, and what tools or different practices that you've used or implemented to create this really balanced ecosystem.
I love you, dude. Number one, that's amazing, and I appreciate that, and that you can like express that in that way is beautiful.
Well, it's the truth.
Thank you. And I receive that. I would say I believe that we have 7 aspects of life that we're all maneuvering at any given point. And there's self-expression, there's community, there's nature, there's spirituality. There's all of these different parts and pieces. Financial is a part of that. Relationships are a part of that. So you have all of these different aspects. And I think a lot of times what I found was when I was sitting as a lower level court judge in my life, I was like, almost like I was judging, like I was doing really well, let's say in spirituality. I felt really good in spirituality, but in my business, it was in complete dissonance. I was in 1D state. I'm sitting in this like, how do we even get through this thing? And so all of that, what I've realized is all of those 7 pieces, they're a part of raising each other together. And I can only really focus on the one that I'm in right now. And then once I do that, I don't need to worry about whether or not I'm not doing that same thing repeated in the others. I'm just sitting in the wonder of like, okay, I can do this here and know that I'm sitting maybe not quite at the same place spiritually. I don't have the expectation for that of myself. I'm just moving through the process of learning this financial aspect of my life.
Yeah.
Right. And so then knowing that they're all there, and knowing that I may be at in my second book, I talk about it I believe we're sitting in 7 dimensions, always. We always have 7 dimensions that we can access at any point. Survival, karma, judgment, balance, harmony, light and love, and then divine love.
So is it go like up a ladder?
Yeah, it's kind of a ladder, but it's expansive because it can be, it doesn't just like add up. At any point, I can be sitting in harmony and drop down into 1D. Because maybe I'm triggered by something financially that just showed up, and I'm sitting in this wonderful spiritual high, having this great conversation with you, and then I realized I didn't have money for payroll. And then instantly I am taken to this survival state, and my worried mind activates, and I'm just, whew, and then I'm here and I got to figure it out, and I don't know, and I don't have it all figured out. So like, it's this concept of knowing that I'm all these parts and pieces, and at any point I can experience all of them. So I'm not 70 in my spirituality. I'm just always at a state of being, and I'm just moving through the different aspects in that state of being. So it's almost like having grace for my life. And that's when I took out the worry. Like it's no longer a video game that I'm trying to win. It's a video game that I'm trying to conquer.
I mean, I think back to video games. And if I was trying to beat a level when I was younger, like, I don't know, Lion King on Sega Genesis, if I was trying to beat it and there was a hard part, it'd be frustrating and I couldn't beat it.
Yeah.
And then a friend would come over and we like figure, I'm like, what?
Do it real quick.
And it was like, oh, you just had to like,
there's a
go
thing.
try another thing.
There's just a thing that I didn't know. That's the 2 degrees off concept, right?
Yeah.
Like there's just a thing that you just didn't know that's right there, moving beyond it.
Yeah.
I love it. Cool.
Man.
So I sum that up is, don't guilt and shame yourself. Don't should yourself. Don't get to a point where you can just learn from life, and you get to live from the experience of a mature heart that doesn't judge every tiny little aspect, internally and externally.
So I have another, I think it's from Abraham Hicks. I'll find out, but if it's not, I'll put it in the bio.
Cool.
But there's a ladder. It's like a spiral, and it has a little more lines, and it's not claiming 7, but it's like the hierarchy or the conscious emotional state, and it's like bliss, like pure love, and down here is like despair. And a really good friend of mine showed me this like 3.5 years ago and was like, well, if you're in like depression or like despair, well, instead of trying to go from despair to bliss, why don't we just go to contentment? And then from contentment, why don't I like, hey, maybe mild excitement. These aren't what it says either. I'm just making up things, which it takes off like that. Like, why am I not happy? Why is this happening again?
For sure.
And like, oh, well, why is this? Why, instead of why is this happening again, is, well, why is this happening?
I wonder why this is happening again. Because if you can do that one simple thing of like, I wonder why this is happening again, that is a whole, why is this happening again? Get you nowhere.
Nowhere.
I wonder why this is happening again. Get you into a, like, now I actually am out of the loop and I can go find something, and it gives me a direction to go look. So even that wondering aspect gets you to a point of like, anytime you want to get out of a loop, wonder about it. And you'll find, your mind is so brilliant, it'll find it. It just can't find it because you're allowing it to sit in the safety of the looping.
This happened to me yesterday. It's 6:30 p.m. Bedtime's at 8 because school's tomorrow. We're scootering around the neighborhood on our electric scooters, and one of the kids on an electric bike. So we got some juice. We could probably get hurt by a car.
Sure.
So I'm like keeping everyone safe. And my youngest goes in front of me, and I'm like, hey. And then I like let a little rage one out because there's some safety.
Worry love.
Worry love. And then she's like, why are you talking to me like that? And I'm like, because I need you to listen. And this is dead serious. And I got like, really stern. And then she kind of like pushed back on a lot. And we had like a unfun 10 minutes. And then we got back to bliss. But I remember being like, why is this happening? I'm dumping love into these kids. I'm being the best dad.
Right.
This is round 3 today. We already did 4 of these things today. How am I in trouble? You little punk. And then I was like, oh, look at you. Look at you judging. She just wants you to know you love her even within that. And so I was like, hey, this is why that happened. And what did that feel like for you? How can I do it different next time? How can you hear me so I know you hear me? These are the 2 main things. And then we had a great rest of the ride. But I, for a moment, got lost in like guilt, and like, how'd you do that, Jared? How'd you become the unsafe bad example of the man they're going to marry one day.
Yeah. Assuming that this thing is going to stick in them all the way to the end of their existence.
I mean, there's nothing we can screw up. You can go and be a jerk, and then it's like, hey guys, I know this is round 17 of this. I'm sorry. Yeah. And this is what I'm working on, and I see it.
They'll always,
and you just acknowledge it.
Yeah, dude.
But you got to be real,
yes.
and you got to actually want to change.
Yes.
But it's like, get rid of the worry, dude. I am so excited to read your book.
Thank you.
When do you have a? There's no pressure on like a time, but do you have like a general idea?
Yeah, it'll be out this fall for sure.
Okay.
Like I wanted to have it out before. Yeah, like you said, that's the fun part about not worrying about it. Like it's, I put away goals, and I just have kind of even agreements with myself in that way of like, I'll put the time and space towards it as it's built, because it's such it takes a full focus of my town being completely in order for me to articulate the mind thoughts that I create, essentially. And so I have to be in this wonderful state. And so if I just have the agreement of like, when I'm there, I'll write, then I do. And I'm there.
I like that.
It's been fun. Like, and I'm finding that I create more space to do that then for myself, that I'm like, okay, here you go, self, let me create this wonderful place of resonance. And then I sit in that, and then I feel good about writing. But I do want to have it out. I would say it'll be out before the end of the year. And my guess is it'll be out within the next couple of months.
Where, you have a website that people can go to?
It's unumcentum.com.
Okay.
And then the Instagram is also unum centum.
Sweet.
Yeah. Unum as 1 in Latin, centum as 100.
Well, until it comes out, everyone can reference all your beautiful words from this podcast.
I love you. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. This has been really fun for me this often happens in my head. Yeah. So thank you for allowing me the time and space to come in and articulate.
Well, this was beautiful. Thanks for coming.
Absolutely, man.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.
Thanks for joining us. And until next time, peace out.